Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are cold. It is like 9:30 in the morning and I'm down here at the local park sitting beside a creek on a metal bench, all to do this review. Now I've been wanting to do this review for a couple weeks. I ordered this Aeropress Go off of Amazon and they didn't send it to me. I don't get anything for doing the video, nothing like that. So this is an honest review. I've been wanting an Aeropress for a while. A lot of folks have talked about how much richer and less acidic a press. I use a French press occasionally at home. I really can't tell the difference between brewing it in my normal coffee maker or in the French press. However, over the last week, I've been using this Aeropress Go, and honestly, I can tell a little bit of a difference. It's a smoother, richer taste into my coffee. Now I switch up my brands or my flavors, I guess. I usually stick to a darker roast though, so as you can imagine, usually it's pretty acidic. So far I'm enjoying the Aeropress Go, but I wanted to do this review because when I was ordering it, I looked at a lot of reviews and I was like, man, these people really don't, I mean, people love the Aeropress, but the Aeropress Go, a lot of the reviews, people were kind of bashing it, not really talking bad about it, but also kind of showing some frustrations. Never said anything about how it works, how it functions, and what it does, but really they were just irritated with the size. And I want to go over what I think was maybe some misunderstandings or maybe some just oversight on those reviews, and something maybe you would want to know before you ordered it. So let's get into it. We're going to brew it up here. I've got my little burner, I've got some propane, I've got my kettle full of water. We're going to go ahead and get some water boiling, and we're going to go ahead and see what comes in this pack with the Aeropress. So this is just my cheap little Amazon knockoff propane stove burner thing. I've never used it, so I'm just using it today, kind of a test run before I take it out camping. I'm just a few miles from the house, so if something happens, it's fine. But I mean, it seems to be fairly well made, but this isn't a review about that. We're gonna go ahead and get this lit up. She is burning. Biggest thing on propane, I don't know if you can see it or not, kind of gotta look for the waves, and then also just listen to it and you can hear it. All right, so we're gonna kind of set this over here to the side. It's a pretty big kettle. I'm hoping the sound doesn't really get to you that bad. Hoping that I can talk louder. So let's get this Aeropress opened up. The box is sleek, octagonal box. Here's some of the things that they say about it. 1 to 3 cups, coffee, espresso, or cold brew in about a minute. It's their travel version. Coffee delicious anywhere, work, travel, outdoors, whatever you got. It says the package includes the Aeropress Go coffee maker, the mug, a lid, a scoop, a stirrer, a filter, or a filter holder, and then 350 paper filters. Now I went ahead and ordered the metal filter, but I'll go ahead and use the paper filters today. I left the big bulk pack of paper filters, but I did bring the package that they send you to hold filters. And it seems to hold about 15 to 20 filters, depending on how well you can pack them in there. There we go. So it comes with the instructions. Tons of different languages. This thing is used internationally. People love these things. All right. So literally, aside from those extra filters, this is what you get. Okay, you got your little silicone holder cap. This is what you would put underneath your mug to be able to sit it so it doesn't slide, so it doesn't move. Here's my papers and my holders, or my holder and my papers, my paper filters. And then you have your actual Aeropress, very similar from what I've seen. Again, I never used an Aeropress before I bought this, but it's very similar in construction to the normal Aeropress. However, it is a little bit smaller. That's one of the big things that I saw was a downfall in some of the reviews. However, after reading the instructions, things like that, it could just be a misunderstanding in how it's supposed to be worked or used. I'm not sure. So you got your two sides, you got your plunger, and then this is what is gonna hold your grounds and your filter over top of your cup. Okay. Next we have our scoop. Now this is important because this coincides with these numbers on the Aeropress. Something that I read yesterday, 1 scoop is 1 cup, or to 1. So if you're doing 1 scoop of your coffee, you only fill your water up to the 1. That's for the espresso style, okay? If you do 2 scoops, you fill it up to the number 2. You know where this is going. If you're doing 3, you fill it up to the 3. The number of scoops coincides with the numbers on here. This isn't the number of, well, I suppose it could be the number of cups you're making, but that's really what these numbers are for, okay? And then next, inside the cup, now all this comes inside of this. It all fits up. It's an awesome travel maker, coffee maker, brewer, whatever you want to call it. Next is the stirrer. I thought this was pretty neat. In my French press days, I had never used a spoon to stir anything. I literally just pour the water in, let it steep for a minute, and then just plunge it. This actually makes it much smoother of a brew, or at least I've noticed that in the last week of using this, and it's nifty, it's handy. Necessity, no, but handy, yes. So while our coffee's brewing, or not brewing, our water is boiling, let's go ahead and talk about our coffee. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, links down below, go check it out. I post some really cool stuff sometimes, and you get to know kind of what I've got coming up and what I'm doing. But we've been trying out these Grounds and Hounds Coffee Company kind of, what would you call it, variety packs. My wife received these as a gift for Christmas, and I've been enjoying them quite a bit. She drinks a lot of coffee too, but she's not into the dark roast like I am, and this had a few dark roast and espresso roasts that I really have enjoyed. This one today is called the Good Boy. It says that it's got tasting notes of brown sugar, buttercream, baker's chocolate, and molasses, and it is a dark roast again. Grounds and Hounds is an awesome company. Go check them out on Instagram. I'll put a link to them down below also. They support a lot of dog stuff, and if you know us, we support a lot of dog stuff as well. So, all right. Filters. This is supposed to be your mug. I brought my own mug because I like my mug, but I guess for the purposes of the video, we'll talk about the mug too. One of the things that I saw was a complaint about the mug was that the finishing was sharp and wasn't really clean. I have to disagree with that. There's no sharp edges to this. There's no splinters, no places like I could see if you were worried about that, putting it to your mouth and cutting your lips or something like that, but I really don't see any kind of bad finishing marks. The little silicone thing is pretty neat. I thought about something the other day with this. This would also double as like a dog bowl for me. Like if I was out hiking with Ruger and he needed some water and I just had a bottle, I could literally just pour him some of this. Now with him it would last literally 2 seconds, but in a pinch it would work for your pup. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the construction. Like I said, I've used this for a week, and I've used it multiple times, and I enjoy it. I used it 3 times yesterday, actually. And it's almost just as quick as making a cup of coffee in my coffee maker. We have a Ninja coffee maker that can do, small espresso cups all the way up to turbises, even up to a carafe. I mean, I drink coffee a lot, and so far this thing has been just as simple and just as easy. All I have to do is heat my kettle up. It boils in a couple minutes, and there you go. Now, one thing about it, this is going to be a lot of talking, guys. One thing about the Aeropress is that they recommend that your temperature be about 170-ish degrees. Now, of course, boiling water over top of an open flame, it's kind of hard to do that. Now, if you've got a nice, cool little electric boiler at the house or electric kettle, that's going to work. You can set the temperature you want it to be, and there you go. What I usually do is once I hear it rolling boil, I turn the heat off and move it off of the heat. Now, this metal bench is pretty cold, so I think I can set it down on that and it'll come down pretty quick. So I've never really judged the temperature, but I could see where it would be a thing. All right, So we're about boiling. I can hear it starting to get heated up. So let's go ahead and get our grounds open. Go ahead and get our filter out and get it placed inside of our, I don't know what they call this, a brew puck maybe? I don't know. Now one thing that I do, these are mine, no one else drinks out of this, no one else is going to use these. Like I said, I have the stainless steel one at home. But one thing that I have to do, because my fingers are always really dry, if you're outside and it's cold, your hands are going to be dry. We're getting ready to boil. We might whistle here, but I do this. All right, the internet may roast me, but that's what I have to do to be able to get it out. Okay, I'm sorry. And then you just place your paper filter down inside. Now I would assume you could do 2 of these if you wanted to, and get a better filter. I don't know, but I've not had any grounds in any of my coffee, so I haven't really had to worry about it. Now there's 2 styles of brewing you could do. I'm going to do the traditional way that I do it. I go ahead and put my filter, put my cap on, and I take my plunger off, and then I set my filter and my cap, or my sleeve, over top of my can. Now look how awesome that fits in there. They're both machined or printed like as almost like a square. Fits in there perfect. I'm worried because the table is cold and wet and it's starting to thaw, or it was frozen and starting to thaw out, that my coffee is going to get moist and damp, and I don't like that. It smells pretty good. It's a rich smell, sweet smell. Now I'm not one of those that can taste every single tasting note, but I do like the smell. All right, we're just going to do 1 scoop. You can see those are a pretty dark roast. And then what I do to make it less of a mess is I go ahead and I put my scoop down in before I turn it, just to make sure your grounds and everything stay in there rather than getting all over your table, especially if you're doing this at home. And then what you want to do is you want to just go ahead and shake it, level off your grounds. I had a little bit of moisture down in here, that's fine. It's really cold and foggy this morning. So we're starting to steam a little bit on our kettle. I'm gonna let this sit for just a second and get some more heat in our kettle. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat off on my kettle. We've got some good heat in it. And I'm gonna bring y'all down so you can see what I'm doing here. So I only did 1 scoop. So at first I'm gonna go ahead and just fill it up to the number 1. Kind of moving my water around, making sure that all those grounds get covered. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my stirrer, and I'm going to stir it. Scraping those grounds down into the water. And then the instructions say to stir for about 10 seconds. I just do about 10 to 15 rotations of the stir. And then I go ahead and add a little bit more. Now this is where some people get irritated. I think some people think you're only supposed to fill it up to the number 1 and that be it. When you're initially brewing, you only want to brew this much. If you want more coffee, because this is what they consider, I suppose, their espresso style, we're going to go ahead and plunge, push and slow. And so they consider just doing it this way and drinking it straight this way is their espresso style. Now, if you're going to do multiple, or you want to do a larger batch of espresso, you do 3 cups, pour it up to the 3, and press it from there. And I will tell you, this silicone little sleeve on the bottom is really helping, because this metal table would have been bad. This is going to be awesome for camping, guys. This is why I bought it, really, to be honest with you. But so then there we go. Now, if you got a good press, you should have this cool little puck. And there you go. There is your coffee puck. Now you just take that, toss it in the trash. I'm not close to a trash can right now, So I'm just going to leave it on top of my press. And here's our coffee. It's a good dark coffee. It's got some really good smell to it. But here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want just a shot of espresso, I'm going to take some of my extra hot water and I'm just going to add about an ounce or two. Now I do like a strong stout coffee, so I'm not going to fill this all the way up. But this smells really good. Again, it's before 10 o'clock in the morning, and this is my first cup of coffee. I've been trying to drink 1 cup of coffee every morning just to get me going, because we're doing a fast, I guess, between 7:30 and 11:30. So we don't eat breakfast until 11:30. All right. I may burn myself here, but let's give this a try. It's a good cup of joe. I sometimes put creamer in my coffee. Don't hate me. We use Silk caramel macchiato at the house, so it's a what would it be? An almond milk or anyway, not a dairy milk. My wife prefers that type of stuff. Me, it doesn't really bother me to drink dairy, but she prefers almond milk and things like that. So, and unsweetened. It's no sugar. This is a really good cup of coffee. It's rich. I can definitely tell it's got a little bit of acidity to it, but not anything that's going to like give me heartburn or any kind of issues like that. It's really good. I'm not going to lie. It's really good. So overall, in the last week, the Aeropress Go, I've really enjoyed it. I've used it, like I said, multiple times. You've seen me post a few times on different brews that I'm having, or different grinds that I'm having, different companies, whatever. And overall, it's been a really good experience. I don't have really any complaints. I could see where folks would get upset and wish that it was larger, just because of the fact this is marketed as a camping or a travel device, and the normal Aeropress is pretty sleek on its own. Now I don't have the measurements of exactly how much it holds and how much you can store and make and things like that. But I guess my biggest thing is that this is designed to be able to add water to it if you want a normal, what they call an American cup of coffee, or if you're making an espresso, you do the 1 scoop and fill it to the 1, and then add your espresso if you're making a latte or something like that. It's not really made to be like a whole kettle of coffee. It's made to make 1 or 2 cups, 1 or 2 espressos maybe, and then add your coffee or add your milk or add your whatever to make a latte, or to make, you can even do cold brew with this. You can do, I mean, there's so many things you can do with this little tiny piece of equipment. And yeah, today I've brought a kettle, I brought a burner, I brought, all these things. If I were camping, I would have a kettle over the fire. I wouldn't have to have my burner, my propane. I'd have my coffee would probably be in a Ziploc bag, and then all I would need was the things that I have that fits literally in these 2 pieces of equipment. For me, it's a win. Like I said, they're not paying me to do this. They're not even, they probably, I don't know, they may see it. I'm gonna tag them, because if they want to send me some stuff, that'd be cool. But Aeropress Go makes a good cup of joe. That should be a tagline. I should copyright that. I should copyright that. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Overall, I'd say go get one. If you've been thinking about the Aeropress Go, if you've been thinking about the Aeropress in general, I've not found anything that says they don't make good coffee. It's a great piece of equipment. If you enjoy making things with your hands like I do, I would rather make a cup of coffee this way than to put it in my coffee maker. That's just how I am. Everything that I do, I enjoy the harder way of doing things. So yes, I would buy an Aeropress Go. That's why I bought one. But it's really cold. I'm gonna finish my coffee. So y'all stick with me. We'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit like. Be sure to subscribe. And I'll have links down to Aeropress in the description box. Let me know if you've tried them. Let me know if you like them. Let me know some coffee I need to try, okay? All right. Thanks, guys. God bless.